tracking, updating and organising inventory. If you're looking for a new way to manage your inventory and your stock, this episode is for you. Welcome back to Foxy TV episode 72. In this episode, Jake is going to run us through the inventory management tool, showing you how we use it and how you can too. That's going to take up the second half of the episode, but first of all, we're going to run you through what went on here at Foxy here this week. So if you're just here for the inventory management tool, skip forward to about halfway through the episode. Otherwise, let's get into it.
Team meeting was done. Janessa Socks and Sandals is out of here. Team's off. Sam's back at school today. See, Jake's up too. Jake, what's on today?
2 installs and a pack up today.
Oh, and Sam's back to school. Have fun, Sam.
Yep, so we started the day and the week with the team meeting, and then we had the 2 installs and the 1 pack up. Let's fast forward to the end of the day to chat to Phoebe about how it all went. How did the installs go today, Phoebe?
They went really well. First one happened really nice and quick and had awesome city views, and Janessa did a nice beautiful job. And the other one, I thought it was going to be hard because I got a phone call about keys early, but it was all smooth in the end. Photos on Instagram already.
And busy week this week.
So we got 2 installs every day this week, but only 2 booked in for next week, so up and down.
Phoebe, where are we this morning?
We're in Carindale, right next to a beautiful parkland.
Oh yeah.
Nice single level home, partial style. The client's got some beautiful stuff. Just some oversized stuff that we are going to get you guys to put in the garage. That'll be a bit fun. But it's the client's lived here for a really, actually she built the home, so the furniture's been here for a long time. It's great for living with, but it's really comfy, but not so great to sell with. So doing a switch over.
So a bit of furniture to move around. Once the guys were done, they headed off for 2 pack-ups, one in Maruka and the other in Red Hill, while Janessa and Phoebe stuck around to finish up at the install. Later in the day, I met Phoebe in Alderley, where she had a chat with Alex Rutherford, who was the agent of this beautiful home, which we styled back in early June. You may remember it from Foxy TV episode 67. The property sold, which was a great outcome. Phoebe wanted to have a chat with Alex about how she thinks and utilises styling in the properties that she sells.
So we're here with Alex Rutherford today from Place Estate Agents at 55 Alderley Avenue. You would have seen this one highlighted on Foxy TV a couple of weeks ago. Come up really beautiful, so I wanted to come and get Alex's thoughts, chat a bit about styling, a little bit about her thoughts on styling, and yeah, have a chat.
Thank you. I do a lot of styling in my home or homes that we recommend to clients to sell with, because what it means is that it makes buyers feel really comfortable in a property and they can see themselves living there, so we always recommend it. I think Phoebe is one of our best stylists, and you don't always get to style them, but generally when you do, it's well received. It's a very neutral sort of forum in the sense that they can see how the furniture works, even though sometimes it may not suit them, the style as such. But realistically, for let's say somebody that's looking to go into the market, it is really important in that initial presentation, or how people feel in the home, if they feel comfortable, does it work? It doesn't necessarily have to be absolutely up to date. It does help though, when it feels a bit more modern and sort of polished in that sense. But we find when a property's styled, they sell quicker, as you know. They do sell very quickly and generally a lot higher in price.
Yeah. So we've gone back through and looked at numbers for the ones that were styled for you. So this year, 92% of the homes we styled for you, we have 1 that didn't sell. You won't list a home vacant generally.
No, we won't, and we won't recommend it because it makes our job a lot harder, and it makes it harder for the buyers to feel there's the home that they could live in. They don't see value necessarily. It's a much harder for them to sell. It's a competitive market anyway to sell a property in. COVID has created restrictions, but even during COVID, we still styled and we're still selling. And realistically, these are the components that I find, and being in the industry for such a long time, I find that in actual fact it really is needed. And a lot of agents will say, no, you don't need to style. I beg to differ. But that's just an opinion because we've done it for so long and we see what the benefits are. The investment's very, very, very small compared to, let's say, the amount of money you could lose in a deal.
Yeah. So that's what I was chatting about before, that I talk to a lot of agents and we have a lot of relationships, and there is a definite difference in the calibre of an agent when you have one like yourself who is confident and positive and will chat to a client about styling versus one that will list as is. Yeah. So when it comes to approaching that conversation with the client, how do you, and it's not the same formula for everyone, but how do you approach that conversation?
We actually just explain, like, the simple thing is there's a component of the agent's cost, the advertising cost, and the styling cost. And it really is just a discussion. This is what we would recommend and these are the reasons why, and we actually give them the test cases.
I think that's a big difference too, having those cases in the background.
Well, and also when they come to us, they've seen our work externally, so they come to Alex Rutherford or Place for a reason, because we are a polished real estate firm and we do sell most of our properties. Not always, but in the case that sometimes we don't, but generally they do sell very quickly and at a very high price.
Perfect. So we're going to chat about this particular home with Alex. So they'll be available on Alex's Facebook a little bit later, but great to chat, everyone. Great to chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
What are you guys doing?
Selecting for tomorrow.
Selections. We were doing a pack up today and everything was coming from that pack up to go into our install, but the pack up's not happening. So we've had to change it.
How'd everything go yesterday?
Yesterday.
What was yesterday?
Wednesday.
2 units, yes, it was a good day yesterday. We did 2 3-bedroom units. The first one was smooth and went awesome, and popped it up on Instagram with that awesome new green sofa. Second one went okay, but access issues were, our truck is 3.7 metres tall, clearance was 3.5 metres. 3.5? Yeah. In the middle of the valley in the city, and then we had to trek everything up, and then people parked across yellow lines. Oh, it was installs in the city, so they came up quick in the end. That was great. And we packed up Alderley Ave, which was one of the ones that we featured a couple of weeks ago, and good day.
Anything else in the news?
The warehouse?
I don't know.
Oh, we're going to a new warehouse. Yeah, we finalised the lease and everything on our new warehouse space, which is literally 4 minutes from here, if that. The size, it's 920 square metres, so it's a third bigger than what we have now. But the best part is it's all one big warehouse. All of our fluff, all of our artwork and linen, all of the accessories is going in a big air-conditioned space, so we're really excited about that. No more selecting in 50 degrees in the middle of summer. And then the big warehousing section, it's just gonna come together so beautifully. 17th of August we move in.
So a month away.
Yep.
Okay, that's enough of an update of what's happening here this week. There were a few more installs and packups and stuff, but let's move on to the main part of the episode, the inventory management tool. I'm going to waste no more time. Jake, over to you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do today is share the inventory management tool that we use here at Foxy, which we're going to make available to anybody who wants a copy. So I'm going to use it, give a bit of a quick explanation, use an example to show you kind of how it works, and kind of leave it open if there's any other questions or suggestions or things that that you'd like to see in there. So basically, before I start the example, the tool that we use has been built internally here. We've done it in Microsoft Excel. I'm a bit of an Excel nerd, so I wanted to build something that helped us in a few different ways. So the first one is just to simply keep track of our stock. So we have a list of everything that we own from a furniture point of view. We've kept all of the smaller accessories, artwork, cushions, all of those things separate because there were so many smaller. We didn't want to have that in here and bog it down or make it too complicated. So this is all of our furniture. It's a record of where each piece has been sent in terms of houses, how many times it's gone out, I can do a list of where everything is right now, which I'm going to get into. So it's about record keeping. It's also about having a simple way to print out what is available right now to be used for selection. So I, a couple times a week, will print out a list of available furniture for Phoebe, who will then take it and use that to do her selections for the next few days. And I've built in a few tools into this to do things like if Phoebe wants to reserve a particular piece of furniture for an upcoming job, she can do that. So when a stock list is printed out, it already puts that aside. It also lets us quarantine some items. If, say, something needs cleaning before it gets used again, I can do that so it doesn't accidentally get sent out or included on a list. And a few other little bits and pieces which I'm going to dive into. So let's get into it. I'm going to start right at the beginning here. I'm not going to go through everything in detail because that'll take too long. If there's questions, by all means, please reach out and I'm happy to talk through those one-on-one. The first thing that we have here is, as I said, a list of everything that we own. So I'm on the database tab right now. There's a date for when each of these bits of furniture was purchased or received or available for use. There's room to put categories in here, which for now I haven't done, but I'm starting to, and it's there if people want to. The name of the item is important, and each name needs to be unique. And description, again, we've been a little bit lazy, but there's room there to put a description and a quantity. So all fairly simple. And this is, again, a full list of everything that we own and that is being used before or available for use. So I just wanted to show that quickly. Now, if we come back to the start, what we now have is this project database list, and this is where we put in the names of each of our properties that are going to be staged, where furniture is going to be going. So it's simply an address, a suburb, an install date, and a pack-up date, estimated if it's still out, because obviously those things can change, but for now an estimated pack-up date. And this is a full list. I personally use yellow highlights for anything that hasn't actually happened yet, so there's a couple of potential jobs that I've wanted to include to show, so ones that are coming up. And if you're looking at these dates, right now it's the 13th of July, so anything 13th or beyond won't have happened yet. Same as pack-ups, yellow if they haven't actually happened, and I just take away the highlighting once those jobs have actually happened. So from here, again, keeping it quite simple, that's the list of projects. If I come across here to an example where we've actually done an install and I want to then record what furniture went into that property. So I've got this tab here, stock usage. I come over here, start new job, and what it does is it creates this new column for me to enter the name. So I'll put in this example, Minutus Street, and you can see the install date and the pack-up date have automatically populated based on what I entered on the other tab. I then down here, down column C, this one here, I've got all of those items that we have added into our database before, and they're sorted by category. But what I tend to do, I mean, you can easily go down and find each of the bits of furniture that you've used. I just use the search function, so Control F, just do a search, and I'm actually going to do this example for you because it wasn't a big job, so it won't take me long. So we have an outdoor dining set called the Rogoff. So I've done a search and I can find that. So I know that Minutus, which is my example address, we used that one. So I just literally type in one. I know that we use some XP, what we call our XP bar stools black. So I come across here and we used two there, so I put two. We used a king bed. So if I go back to the top here, I can see I've got a king mattress, one of those, and we use two king single bases on the base of that. I'm nearly finished already. As I said, it wasn't a particularly big job. We used a rug that we call the Rundle rug, so I can search and find that. And then I also used a Prospect bedside table, which you can see I've done a search and found that there. We used two of those. And that was, sorry, one more thing, an Eames chair we used. And that's the entire job. So I've now entered everything that went into Minutos. So obviously for bigger jobs, that'll take quite a bit longer. But the idea is just to record what furniture went to which job. From there, I actually have this pack-up list functionality. So I've got a little drop-down box here. I can click, you can see Minutos has been added to the top of that list. And now it literally, it's a little summary of the things that went in there. So quantities, the name of the stock, room for ticking once you've printed this out, comments, and I just hit print on that, and we put that into a little folder. And when the pack-ups, when the due date comes up and we're actually packing it up, that pack-up list comes out and goes in the truck. From there, the other thing which, so sorry, just to take a step back, that's me entering the furniture for a job. That's now done. I do that every day for any jobs that have gone out. From there, the second functionality that this tool has is to print out, as I mentioned, these stock lists, so what's available. Now, I'm going to show you the example of what I would do there as of today. So, firstly, this tab Houses Out shows all of the properties that we currently have furniture out right now, and an estimated pickup date. And there's some colours here, and the only point of the colours is to show the things that are due for pack up in green. So the greener it is, the sooner it's due back, and then obviously red is the opposite. So let's say I want to do a pack up list, an available stock list based on what's in the warehouse right now, plus a couple of pack ups that I know are coming back today and tomorrow or in the next couple of days. So for instance, this property here, Windsor Road, says it's due back tomorrow, the 14th, so I'm going to put that number one there. I want to include that one. I've got another one due in a couple of days, so I want to show that, and maybe a third down here. So there's 3 pack-ups that I want to show on my printout, and if that doesn't make sense, it will in a minute. When I go across to the next tab now, this is my printable list of all available stock, plus the things that are due for pack-up. So you can see I've got the category and the name of the furniture. I've got the number of those of each item that are currently available, and then the 3 pack-ups that I just did on the previous tab are showing here. And this is where this optionality to choose as few or as many properties to show on this list as you want comes in handy. So there's I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially this now automatically chooses only the furniture that is either in the warehouse or coming from those 3 pack-ups. Everything else is left off this list, because if it's out in a property and it's not going to be coming back for 4 weeks, then I don't want to know about it right now. And that's the beauty of this. Now, I mentioned that I have the ability to quarantine or reserve items for particular jobs. That's where these colors are coming in. So if it's grayed out here, and this is all automatic, for instance, I've, just for an example, I quarantined this particular sofa, the one we call it a Panama 2.5 seat cream. It's on the list because it is in the warehouse, but it's grayed out because we've quarantined it. I've said that it can't be used until it's cleaned properly, professionally cleaned again. Blue is something that's reserved. So for instance, I went in and added this Panama 3-seat black sofa to our reserve list because the ladies have chosen it for an upcoming job, so I want to make sure it doesn't go out to something else in the meantime. And that's why it's blue, and I've got a code up the top here to remind you. Orange is something that isn't in the warehouse right now. You can see in this available column, this sofa is not here, but there is one coming back on this week from one of the pack-ups that we chose. So, and that's it. And if it's white, it's there. So I can literally go to a print preview of this, which, it's not working right now. I can do that later, but basically if I hit print, it'll automatically print basically a report that shows what's available, and then that goes to Phoebe. The very last thing that I just wanted to touch on is I've built in this tool I've called it Asset Efficiency, and without kind of going into too much detail, what I've done is tried to summarize or calculate how often any particular piece of furniture is used. Now, anybody who owns their own stock knows that if it's sitting in the warehouse, it's not making you money, and it's in fact cost you money. So we want furniture to be out as much as possible and turned around as soon as it gets back. We want it to be back out in another property as soon as we can. This sheet, it's color coded, it's all automatic. It's green at the top, which shows the particular bits of furniture that get used most often. So average turnaround in weeks. How many weeks does it take to get out to the next property? So you want that number to be as low as possible. Or how many times on average does it get used per year? Obviously you want that to be as high as possible. As I scroll down here, in a minute it starts going from green to kind of yellowy orange sort of colors to say it's getting a little bit worse. And as I go right to the bottom, there'll be a few items that are red, which are obviously not getting used much at all. And this is both a way to see where do we maybe need to get more furniture if some of it's getting overused and is never here. It's also a way of looking at what furniture isn't getting used very often, and therefore if I need to clear out some space in the warehouse, this might be the first place I look to create a bit of a sale list potentially. So yeah, that's a little kind of added tool that I've built in to help. That's it for the inventory management tool at the moment. As I said, I've kind of tried to keep it not too, or a little bit broader, but if there are specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. We'll make this available. I'm sure Cody will include links and let you know where you can get a copy of this. And yeah, I'm more than happy for you to dive in, and hopefully it helps.
So there you have it, that's how we manage our inventory. If you'd like a copy of the tool for free, simply comment on the video wherever you're watching it, or send us a message and Jake will collate the emails and send it off, just like we did a few months ago with the quoting tool. And if you do have any questions about the tool, as Jake mentioned, just let us know and hopefully he can get back to you as soon as possible. That's all for episode 72. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.